if you've got cancer medication, I would take it preemptively now, because this could get bad. Hello?
Yo.
Hello? You're indoors. What is happening here?
Yeah, I actually have a place that I live in. Surprise.
Well, no, it's just that... look, I don't want to be rude, but, like, you've done all of your previous ones in an alleyway. So, like, I don't think that's not out of order for me to suggest, is it? Like, you were previously in an alleyway. Like, I'm not trying to be rude.
The alleyway was a great place to actually record. I just wasn't able to use that as space to them.
Oh, okay. Why is that? Were two cats having a fight in the alleyway, or what was happening there?
It has a great background. It's really dark, you know. It really brings out the dark Yankee Tankie aesthetic.
True. True. It's very Halloween. Anyway,
Very
so
sweet.
hello there, Yankee Tankie. Do you go by Mr. Tankie, or can I call you Yankee?
You can call me whatever you want, just don't call me late for dinner.
I won't do. I won't do that. Yes. So, do you want to tell everyone about you? Who are you and what you do?
Well, I'm the Yankee Tankie, big gold communist, as you might know. I was the guy who put out that Medium article and Caleb Maupin. Not here to talk about that, but that's why most people know me.
Yeah.
Beyond that, though, I'm part of the infrared community, kind of to an extent. I guess, just your everyday communist within the Western world in the 21st century.
Okay. So, I've listened to your or watched, I suppose, your conversations with both Vosh and Dylan Burns, and I suppose it would be fair to ask you at the start of this. Besides America bad, what is it you actually believe?
Well, let's first off and start with it's not that America is bad. It is that the American imperialists are bad. When you talk about the people, when you talk about the lands, when you're talking about the ethos of what it should be America, that is what I'm for. I'm in support of that. So that would be one thing that you need to acknowledge. You know, I used to consider myself a patriotic socialist. Nowadays, I mean, I would just call myself communist because communism is inherently patriotic. But with that being said, I'm an anti imperialist. And what that means is I stand against the global neoliberal order. That means not imperialism as much of breadtube describes, but instead what I view is the transatlantic trade system.
Okay, you say you're anti-imperialism, but why do you therefore support countries invading other countries?
Like I said, I believe that's a transatlantic trade system. I do not apply imperialism to any other country outside of the trade Atlantic
So
trade system.
so you literally are just doing America bad then, because no one else would be capable of
No,
doing
no.
imperialism then.
Again, I love the people and the lands.
All
Like,
right.
you can't say hate America because what really is America is the American working class. It's not the ruling class elite.
Okay, but you realise that, like, I don't know, tens of millions of people voted for people that you would consider to be the imperialists, right?
Yeah, and that's because of propaganda. That's McCarthyism. That's, you know, the COINTELPRO. That is MK Ultra. That is you can name a million different things that the U.S. imperialists have done to control and manipulate the population.
Okay, but okay, my point is rather more that your definition of imperialism is wrong, like fundamentally
No,
incorrect. Like you
I'm
cannot
correct.
possibly believe that what Russia is doing in Ukraine, for instance, is not
It's
imperialism.
incredibly, it's incredibly based, is what it is.
It's imperialism.
Incredibly based.
It's imperialism.
It's incredibly based.
In what possible respect is it based?
Incredibly.
Do you? This is what I find fascinating about you. Actually, you do you not see why you fell into the Caleb Maupin cult? Because you just enjoy repeating mantras. It doesn't have to be
Not
about
the
anything,
things
does it?
that I supported getting out of the movement and into the masses to talk to the real working class in this country.
What, like Caleb Maupin? What are you talking about? Like it's a
Chances
cult.
are, I was 100% legitimate in everything that I did. Caleb Maupin was a sex pest that betrayed us. Two totally different things.
Yeah, I know. I grant that, and I'm not suggesting you've done anything like that Caleb Maupin did. But my point is, the reason you fell into that cult and the reason that you're now trying to join the Has infrared cult is because you enjoy repeating mantras, don't you? You enjoy repeating just sentences that don't really mean anything.
The cult of Ukraine. The cult is of the Western imperialists. That is the real cult.
No. I oppose Western imperialism. I oppose NATO.
Yes.
I'm not like you're not going to get me on that.
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
You're just saying the word yes repeatedly. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't air filleted and suggested I'm sucking Vladimir Zelensky's dick so far. This is...
No, because I watched your fucking review of the debate
Yeah.
and found out you're a degenerate that gets hard over this shit, so we're not going to be talking about the degeneracy.
How can we not talk about the degeneracy? Look at us. Obviously we're going to talk about degeneracy. Why wouldn't we?
No,
we're not.
You might, because you get fucking hard on this shit.
I'm alright. I am. You are such a pretty man. I am erect. Yes, this is true.
Well, at least this time, unlike in the review, you admit that I'm actually fucking sexy as fuck. I mean, look at this luscious beard. Fucking luscious.
I just want to point out for everyone, we are not the same human being. Okay, I know we look alike. We're both ugly, fat internet slobs.
I don't look anything like me. I'm actually a fucking beast, and meanwhile, you're like some ugly fatso, so I don't want to fucking hear it.
You're literally fatter than me. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, not the time.
Yes, so you're cutting out. Sorry, what was that?
My ex-roommate was calling me in the middle of this fucking debate, so just ignore the ringing you might have heard or the cutting out.
Okay. So, if a country invades another country in order to seize territory, is that not imperialism?
No.
No, it isn't.
Correct.
So America invading Iraq was not imperialism?
It was imperialism. Well, imperialism is defined by the transatlantic trade system.
No, it isn't. It's never ever been... Okay, well, how do you explain that imperialism happened before that existed then?
The transatlantic trade system has existed for, 400 or so years? I mean, it started with the British, and then, after the second...
but imperialism has existed for thousands of years. Long before Europeans had crossed the Atlantic, imperialism existed.
Not true. You're wrongly defining imperialism.
No, I'm not. The Roman Empire was an empire, my dude.
You're defining it by your bread tube logic. I'm defining it by what the material reality is. And the material reality is that you have countries like the United States, France, the United Kingdom, Belgium, the Netherlands, like Spain, Portugal. These are the imperialists. China is not imperialist. Russia is not imperialist.
China is imperialist. Yes, it is. But regardless of that, imperialism. Look, it's so strange to me that both you and I think certain other people who would describe themselves maybe as tankies, you don't cede any intellectual ground by admitting that other people can engage in imperialism. Like,
if I can cede ground if, say, another country works with the imperialists on the basis of trying to extract wealth from the global south and the far east.
Hang on, but is Ukraine not a part of the global south?
No, it is not.
It's not.
It's trying to work as a proxy state to extract the wealth of Russia.
To extract the wealth of Russia? How is Ukraine extracting the wealth of Russia?
By refusing to allow trade between Germany and Russia.
How is it possibly able to do that, considering you could just go through Belarus and Poland?
To Germany from Russia.
Well, no, you wouldn't need to do that either, because you got Kaliningrad. Ukraine couldn't stop that. Literally, they couldn't stop it.
Which is why you have the U.S. imperialists that are, they bombed the gas pipeline, the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipeline.
Well, I thought that was actually, it wasn't a bombing. I thought it was the British Navy, apparently, according to Vladimir Putin.
The U.S. terrorist attack.
Well, you and Vladimir Putin seem to have a very different view of this, because he claimed it was the British Navy that did that. So you need to get your RT talking points a bit more in order, my friend.
The British Navy are just effectively an arm of the U.S. imperialists now.
Well, that's been true for the last 8 years, but regardless, you clearly didn't know that because you haven't been following the story, have you? Did you even watch what Vladimir Putin said the other day?
Like basically the British operate for the benefit of the U.S. imperialists at this point. That's the facts of the situation.
Yeah, well, no, again, you won't get any disagreement with me on that. Britain is essentially the 51st state. It's pathetic. But regardless, I know your Kremlin talking points better than you know them at this point, which is a bit sad, actually.
Incorrect.
What? You didn't even know that? I just informed you that it was Britain, according to Putin. You didn't even know that. You said it was America who bombed it.
Shut the fuck up! Okay, so...
The singing begins!
Okay, so the British imperialists, no longer maintain their dominance within the transatlantic trade.
Well, hang on. Are we even imperialists then?
So the whole reason I'm not arguing on the basis of what you're calling Kremlin talking points or whatever is because I'm actually an independent person. I'm not some sort of Russian propagandist. I just support Russia because they're right. Does it mean that I agree with everything that comes?
Well, no, you just say you don't follow the news. That's fine.
Are the lead of the transatlantic?
But can I just say,
it's America.
If we're being dominated by America, surely we're not imperialists anymore. Then we're being exploited. We're the exploited here then in Britain.
No, we are like the working class are exploited for sure, but the ruling class, the globalist elites that control all these economic systems. They're the ones who are exploiting us.
Right, no, that's fine, and that's a lovely dodge of what I was actually saying. Even the ruling class in Britain are being oppressed by the ruling class in America, if we're just the puppets of them, surely.
With the American imperialists, they are not oppressed by the American imperialists.
So they have freedom of action, by which they can do things by themselves?
To a certain extent, they are able to do that.
So how do you know we didn't bomb the Nord Stream pipeline independently, then?
Because the British are the ones that
you're just making things up. You didn't know that that's what Vladimir Putin had claimed, and now you're giving me reasons for a thing that 2 minutes ago you didn't even know was claimed.
Okay, so just because the British imperialists are not doing everything the American imperialists want, doesn't mean that there isn't some things that they are doing because it benefits both the British imperialists and the American.
You have zero knowledge of this fucking action.
Yes, I do. You're a fucking dweeb. You're a loser.
You didn't even know. I just told you it 2 minutes ago, and now you're trying to explain it to me.
Angloid.
I am an Angloid, yeah, and so are you.
Angloid. Shut the fuck up, Angloid. No one asked you, Angloid.
You're one of the few people in the world whiter than me. You don't get to make that claim. Has is credible. Has is credible when he does it.
Anti-Semite.
You are an anti-Semite, that is true. Undoubtedly.
Anti-Semite. You're the one who was anti-Semitic.
Dude, you said Hitler was Jewish. What fucking planet are you on?
You're the anti-Semite, Angloid. You are.
Explain to me how Hitler was Jewish.
Angloid.
How was Hitler Jewish? How was Hitler Jewish? How was Hitler Jewish? He wasn't an Angloid, he was Austrian. He was actually Austrian.
Angloid! Angloid!
How was Hitler Jewish? He wasn't, he was Austrian! Okay, so I'll take it. You just accept defeat then on that one. Okay.
Well, let me tell you, my friend, I do love trash. I love fucking trash. Let me fucking tell you how much I love trash and okay? We are trash communists. We are garbage communists. We're out here revealing the truth. We're revealing the truth. We are telling the truth. We are showing what the American imperialists are. Because that's what we are. We are the trash communists. We are the trash communists. You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. We're Oscar communists. We are trash communists.
Oscar the Grouch.
That's what we are. That's what we fight for.
You fight for trash? I mean, I know Vladimir Putin is trash. That is true, yeah.
We fight to reveal the trash of the U.S. imperialists. We fight the trash of the British imperialists. We fight to reveal the trash of the Ukrainian Nazis. That's what we do. We are communists. We are trash communists. We are trash communists. We are trash communists. Hail Oscar.
I'm glad that got under your fucking skin. I'm glad that little drive got under you.
Embrace the trash communism. Join our side and be what you are meant to be. An Oscar, garbage, trash communist.
Okay, that's a thing that happened. I mean, you're gonna have to clean that trash up, presumably, right? So you've just put on that little show for us, but you're gonna have to clean all of that up afterwards, I assume, because you're not in the alleyway anymore. So presumably you're gonna have to actually just though you've disappeared. I don't know what he's done. You've totally cut out, by the way. You're breaking up. We can't hear you. We've got a leftist audio issue, people. What can I say? Dude, if you're listening, we can barely hear you. Sort out your fucking connection. I haven't touched the audio. I haven't touched anything. He's still there, and he's singing from a distance or something. Hello? What? Dude, are you actually there or not? Hello? I can barely hear him. He's still there. Hello? He's singing the Stalin version of the Soviet anthem. We can barely hear you. He's cutting out so bad, I don't even know what song he's singing. He started throwing trash at his fucking thing and it went mental. Hello?
Hey.
You were cutting out there. We could barely hear. What were you singing?
I was thinking, I love trash.
Of course you were.
You're going to call me Oscar. I mean, you got to jam out to Oscar the Grouch's song, I Love Trash.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, my dude. Okay. Someone said you were singing the Soviet anthem, but I was like, I know that song, and that's not that song.
No, that was not the Soviet national anthem.
No, that's true. Okay. Talking of trash, how do you feel the Russian war effort's going?
Relatively good, considering NATO and the United States government and the British government and the German government and all that are sending billions of dollars to the Azov battalion, the right sector.
Just the Azov battalion. Just them, yeah. There's no other units in the Ukrainian army, just the Azov battalion, right?
They're effectively all the Azov battalion.
They're all the Azov battalion, except the Azov battalion makes up like less than 1% of the Ukrainian forces.
All following orders by the Azov battalion in the right.
No, they aren't. The Azov battalion is a battalion that exists. No,
there isn't. They are all controlled by the Azov battalion in the right sector.
Okay. Yeah. Why not? Go for it. Long live Azov, I guess. Why do you think the 3-day? Why do you think the 3-day operation has lasted 8 months if it's going so well?
It's happening pretty well in the consideration they are being funded by NATO, the United States, the Germans, the people of the United Kingdom, and funded by the French and everyone else that is funding the Nazi war effort against
So you're getting
the
your
glorious
you're getting your,
Russia.
you're getting your asses handed to you by Nazis.
By the Nazis are funded by NATO and the UN.
Who you consider to be Nazis, right?
They are getting harmed by them. But ultimately, winter is coming. Winter is coming, my friend. And when winter comes, Russia will win this war.
Well, that might be the only thing Vladimir Putin can make come. Anyway, do you think that you claimed before that America and NATO are fascist? Yes.
Yeah, they are supporting
Okay. Yeah.
Nazis. Mm-hmm. They are the globalist elites that control the world economic system at this time.
Okay.
And
I mean, that's not remote. That's not remotely how fascism is defined by any other human. But regardless,
fascism.
So America and NATO are funding Ukraine. So Nazis are funding Nazis, and the Nazis are winning. So you're losing to Nazis.
Yes, at this time we.
So you are losing. You are losing. You've just admitted you're losing. Yeah.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think the Ukrainians are also used to the Ukrainian winter. To be fair.
Europe is not going to have oil soon. Soon Europe will be freezing. And
no, it'll be expensive. It won't be freezing. It'll just be expensive. Yeah, true.
Fighting.
Well, no, it'll just be more expensive. We won't actually freeze. You do understand that.
Apparently, you haven't paid attention to the fact that when Napoleon was invading Russia, that the war didn't work out.
But it's not Russia being invaded. It's Russia doing the invading.
Invaded the Soviet Union, that Hitler did not succeed because they invaded during...
But it's not Russia being invaded. Nobody's invading Russia.
During the winter. And it's going to crush the Ukrainians.
But nobody is invading Russia. Russia is entirely fine. It's Russia that's invading somebody else.
Ukraine is Russia.
Well, regardless, I mean, that's obviously incorrect, but regardless of that, Ukrainians are used to the Ukrainian winter because they live in Ukraine. So it won't affect them, actually.
No, they never fought a war during the Ukrainian winter. Incorrect.
Even when they were part of the Soviet Union's armies fighting wars during the actual war you mentioned earlier with Hitler, yeah? So they've never did that. That wasn't a thing.
No, that wasn't a thing because the Ukrainians at that time, many of them were siding with the actual Nazis against the Soviets.
All I'll say is about 200,000 Soviet citizens fought with the Russians, of about 10% were Ukrainian, and 4 million Ukrainians died defending the Soviet Union against fascism. You should do well as a communist and as a human being to fucking welcome their sacrifice, and because they're better people than you will ever be, or that I will ever be.
They don't have anything to sacrifice. They are choosing to fight this pointless imperialist war.
Can you admit the sacrifice of the Ukrainian people to defend against Nazism?
If you look at the reality, this shit started in 2014. The government was overthrown.
I'm going to bring you back to this. Can you admit and accept the suffering of the Ukrainian people at the hands of the Nazis?
And it was funded by George Soros.
No, the Second World War was not funded by George Soros.
Funded by George Soros.
Except the fucking sacrifice of the Ukrainian people at the hands of the fascist beast. You fucking ungrateful little shit.
There was a war funded by George Soros. It was a coup. He overthrew the Ukrainian government. And ever since that point, the Ukrainian government has been a puppet.
I am not talking about 2014. I'm talking about 1940.
But if 2021 and 2022, these time periods would not be a thing if it were for 2014. Ignoring the history of what happened in 2014.
Dude, time out.
Insane. One of the most insane motherfuckers telling you it's insane, so you know
time out. I am not. We can get to 2014 in a second. I am saying, I'm going to drag you back to this again. can you admit that the Ukrainian people, as part of the Soviet Union at the time, sacrificed millions of their citizens and had millions more butchered in the Holocaust, and that their sacrifice is the reason that you and I are free, to any extent?
They were Russians, but yes.
Well, I mean, Ukrainian is still an ethnicity within the Soviet Union. It was one of the nations. Even fucking Stalin admitted it. He was the fucking minister for the nationalities.
Lenin should have never created the independent state of Ukraine. Ukraine is Russia.
It's not Russia. Regardless, okay. You don't want to accept that. You want to deny the sacrifice the Ukrainian people made at the hands of the fascist beast. Okay, fine.
Ukraine is Russia.
Yeah. Okay, dude.
Ukraine is Russia.
Okay, so on to 2014. As a supporter of the supposed supporter of the proletariat, what was wrong with
Ukraine is Russia.
No, Russia is a colour revolution funded by George Soros. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Ukraine is just look. Russia is just East Ukraine. Okay, please. Russia is Ukraine.
Ukraine is Russia.
Russia is Ukraine.
Ukraine is Russia.
Russia is Ukraine. Russia is Ukraine. Russia is Ukraine.
Ukraine is Russia.
When they're finished kicking your asses out of Kherson and Crimea and the Donbass, just push on and take Moscow. Fuck it, why not?
Russia. Ukraine is Russia.
All hail NATO. Yeah.
Ukraine is Russia. 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 Ukraine is Russia.
Can I just say, you prove once and for all that white people shouldn't try to do music, frankly.
Ukraine is Russia. 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 Ukraine is Russia.
I love a song with good lyrics. Yeah. Solid work. As a supporter of the supposed proletariat, or a supposed supporter of the proletariat, what was wrong with the Ukrainian people seeking redress from a dictatorial government?
That's not what happened. George Soros funded the coup.
Even if it were true, let's say George Soros, and you're not anti-Semitic, obviously.
I would never support any country.
Okay. Definitely not anti-Semitic. Just JQ posting about George Soros. Even if George
anti-Ukrainian.
Even if George Soros had funded this, let's say he did, he paid for everything, right? Is it still not funded it through the NGO. I'm saying let's hypothetically say that that's true for a second. I don't personally believe it, but let's just go with that theory for a second. Is it still not within the Ukrainian people's sovereignty to decide their own self-governance?
No.
So you oppose democracy, just fundamentally, on every level?
Like in the case of Iran, we look at the material situation. It's clearly the U.S. that was trying to set up a color revolution in Iran, just like they tried to set up a color revolution back in 2020.
Those silly Iranian women wanting rights and stuff. That's crazy. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. No, we should just oppress all Iranian women. Yeah.
You never support color revolutions. Full stop. It doesn't matter the reason.
So we're very much in favour of oppressing Iranian women forever. Yeah.
I'm in favor of the Iranian government that stands against the U.S. imperialists.
Okay, but...
And I don't care what they do, because it's not my problem as a Westerner. As long as they're standing against the U.S. imperialists, they are my ally.
Even if they're oppressing their women and killing them in jails?
Problem. That's for them to resolve after the U.S. imperialist empire collapses.
Hang on. Whoa. Yes, it is for you to say. Is it okay for the police... Is it okay for the police anywhere to murder people in jails?
After the collapse of the U.S. imperialists, it does not matter.
Is it okay for the police to murder people in jails?
I do not care. My problem is with the U.S. imperialists trying to set up...
Did you think... Okay. Did you think...
Okay. The U.S. imperialists.
Did you think...
That is my primary concern. I do not care what's going on in Iran. until the U.S. imperialists collapsed.
Did you think the killing of George Floyd was just?
Not comparable situation.
No, I'm just asking you. No, I'm asking you a question. Do you think the killing of George Floyd was just?
It's the very basics of what the color revolution that's going on in Iran is inherently different than what happened with the BLM marches and the people who marched against George Floyd.
I don't know. They look relatively similar to me, actually. But regardless,
No,
I'm trying to drill down onto a basic point here.
it is inherently different because the U.S. imperialists are doing that to themselves, and that is the problem of American citizens.
Whoa! George Floyd was an imperialist because he was the one it was done to.
The business of the imperialists.
Okay, I'll ask you again. Was the killing of George Floyd just?
No.
Okay. So why was the killing of the woman in the Iranian jail just?
Because it's not my business.
No, I didn't ask you whether it was your business. I said, was it just?
Until the U.S. imperialists fall, I do not care what another government may or may not be doing. Any government. I don't care if it's Saudi Arabia. I don't care if it's India. I don't care if it's Russia. I don't care if it's China. I don't care if it's Vietnam. I don't care if it's Laos. I don't care if it's Cuba. I don't care if it's Venezuela. I don't care if it's Nicaragua. I do not care what they do on domestic issues. I care whether they stand against the U.S. imperialists. Anything else is purposely manipulated by the media to stop the support of the working class in this country from supporting the anti-imperialists globally in the world.
Okay, you mentioned Saudi Arabia there. They don't oppose U.S. imperialism. They're allies with the United States.
Right now, they're selling off the U.S. dollar. Right now, they are
literally being funded by Americans buying oil and using that money to buy American and British weapons.
They're not able to purchase weapons. The Joe Biden administration has admitted that they are now suggesting doing regime change in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, but they're still buying American and British weapons with the money we're giving them for oil.
Changed their position and have aligned themselves with Russia through.
Is it okay?
In the position that they challenge the U.S. imperialists.
No, they don't.
Saudi Arabia.
They don't. They really don't. They really don't.
U.S. weapons to kill the Yemenis.
Why
people,
did
it is no longer relevant because the U.S. imperialist is what Saudi government currently stands against.
No, it doesn't. In what fucking way does it stand against it? In what way?
If increasing the cost of oil, it destabilizes the United States, making it so the imperialists are no longer.
You were a cult. You're a cultist.
The world with the petrodollar. So you're goddamn right. There's a goddamn reason to support Saudi Arabia right now.
Okay, is it okay that the Saudis are killing the Yemeni people?
Not as I've said in the case of Iran, as I've said in the case of.
So it's okay to do. It's okay to do genocide as long as you're not America.
And any country that stands against the U.S. imperialists, I do not care what they are doing unless they are not standing against the U.S. imperialists. Then I.
So it's just America bad.
Criticize them.
So the thing you said at the start is a lie. It's just America bad.
That fucking red tubers have the whole fucking we need to look at the nuances of all of these different societies. No, we don't.
It's not nuanced. Genocide is bad.
Or you're against the imperialists.
Genocide is bad, dude.
That's the only reality. You're either with the imperialists or you're against it.
Dude, you had a better connection, by the way, when you were in the fucking alleyway. You're cutting out a lot. It's very strange. Anyway, so basically it's okay to do genocide as long as you're not America, right?
You are supposed to do what is necessary to stand against the U.S. imperialists.
How does the killing the Yemeni people stand against American imperialism?
Doesn't matter what Saudi Arabia might be doing to Yemen right now. It just doesn't matter. What matters?
I think it matters to the people of Yemen.
Against the U.S. imperialists by aligning themselves with Russia through OPEC Plus.
I think it matters to the innocent people in Yemen who are being slaughtered.
I don't care. I do not care.
Do you agree with...
I do not care.
Okay, do you agree with... do you like Israel?
I think Israel right now, despite what they're doing to the Palestinians, is selling off the U.S. dollar and buying the Chinese yuan. So I am somewhat in favor of what Israel is doing right now. However, they have a far to go. They need to more actively support Russia. They need to more actively support China. They need to more actively support fighting against U.S. imperialism and stop being a proxy state because they do threaten Russia, Iran. They do threaten the conditions of the Palestinians, and that is a nuance that is allowed only because they have not completely thrown their weight behind Russia.
They're basically entirely funded by the United States, right?
Yeah, and that's a major problem. They should be throwing their weight behind Russia and not the United States, and that's fundamentally.
And you don't see much of a problem with them literally trying to wipe out the Palestinian people.
If they keep supporting the United States, then obviously all can keep criticizing Israel for oppressing the Palestinian people. But when they start throwing their weight behind Russia, the Palestinian people are not the main contradiction U.S. imperialism is.
Main contradiction. So you're just doing weird Maoist shite then, right?
I mean, this is what Haas and the infrared community use and is incredibly accurate. I don't care whether
he described himself as a Stalinist libertarian, two literally contradictory things.
You need to support fighting against the main contradiction, which is the U.S. imperialists.
Yeah, you believe in individualist gulags, yeah?
First of all, gulags are based. Second of all, individualism is not based. But certain individualism is okay.
Are the Palestinians a colour revolution funded by George Soros?
The Palestinians are an oppressed minority that exists within that region.
Okay, so if they're being oppressed, who are they being oppressed by?
By the Israelis. As I've said before, I'm not currently putting my full support behind Israel because
just your partial. You're just throwing your partial support behind Israel. Okay. That's interesting for a communist. Very interesting.
The primary contradiction is what is most important, not these secondary, third-dairy, fourth-dairy, fifth-dairy contradictions.
Well, I'm sure the people of Gaza really care being talked about as a secondary contradiction, you fucking spoilt brat in the West. Fuck me.
This is not moral matter.
You spoiled little bitch. You're nice and safe, and the Palestinians are being bombed, and they're a secondary contradiction to you.
Where our people across the world, the working class, the servant class, the petite bourgeoisie, all of these oppressed classes will be in the position that they will be living in pods and eating bugs. We're trying to prevent that. That is what we're trying to fight. And that's why these secondary and third dairy and fourth dairy and fifth dairy contradictions are not what we should focus on as communists. That is just not what we should focus on as communists.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the Palestinians. Yeah.
Is the primary contradiction.
Yeah, so you're saying the message from the trash communists is fuck Palestine, yeah?
The position is fuck anyone who is not standing against.
Okay, how do you feel about Israel cooperating with Russia to bomb Syria?
Bomb the Kurds that were trying to overthrow the Assad regime base.
The Kurds who are oppressed in various countries, yeah, those people, yeah.
I don't give a shit about the Kurds. They stand with the U.S. imperialists. I had this conversation with Dylan Burns. You know that.
Israel is literally funded by the United States. What the fuck are you talking about?
Does not matter because in this situation, Israel is standing with Assad against the Kurds.
So you're just a cultist who you've changed from Caleb Maupin to Assad and Putin now, yeah?
You're the cultist because you support the cult of Ukraine.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I support Ukraine. I think NATO are the most based organisation ever. Long live Uncle Sam. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're the cultist because you support the cult of Ukraine.
Honestly, Vladimir Zelensky can take me. Yeah, absolutely.
Support the cult of Ukraine.
Yeah.
You are the cultist because you support the cult of Ukraine.
Totes. Okay, so fuck Palestine, but Putin and Assad good. Okay, that's interesting communism you've got going on there.
Good. Like this is fucking obvious shit if you actually understand the material conditions of the world. You don't.
Dude, you didn't know about it, well, seemingly anything, but you don't seem to take into account the fact that
imperialist, and
the United States, its allies like Saudi Arabia and Israel are somehow anti-America.
You love the American Empire, you love the French Empire, you love the German Empire, you love imperialism.
True. Fact. Based. Fact. Based. Fact. Based.
Typical Anglo. 1776 will commence again. We are going to invade the United Kingdom after we conquer Canada and unite the communist republics. We are going to reunify Ireland. We are going to fucking put it on you fucking Angloids. Down with the Angloids. Down with the Angloids. Down with the Angloids.
It's interesting that you mentioned Ireland, because I'm actually an Irish citizen as well. So I support a united Ireland. But, you know.
Down with the Angloids.
Because I actually oppose imperialism, unlike you. You know.
Down with the Angloids. Down with the Angloids! Down with the Angloids! Down with the Angloids!
Don't forget, if you enjoy this content, you can hit the follow button and subscribe.
Down with the Angloids! Down with the Angloids! Down with the Angloids!
Okay. I mean, again, I will just point out for you, because I don't think you were listening, I'm actually technically an Irish citizen as well, so I support a united Ireland. Because unlike you, I actually oppose imperialism. But anyway.
No,
wow.
you're an Angloid. You're not part of the Irish people.
I
support.
I literally am.
You
No,
support
I literally,
no,
as in, I've literally got an Irish passport, my dude. I'm an Irish citizen.
Ireland does not. Ireland rejects you. My Irish blood tells you that
The Irish people overwhelmingly support the Ukrainian cause.
The Irish blood in me tells you that they reject you.
You're an American, you dopey fuck. Shut the hell up. What's the closest you've even been to Ireland? New York, maybe?
Angloid. You're a fucking Angloid.
Banger. Absolute bop.
Angloid. You're a fucking Angloid.
True. True and Angloid pilled. Facts.
Down with the Angloid Empire.
Yeah. Okay, babe. Okay. You mentioned in the DMs when you asked for this discussion that you thought my definition of Bonapartism was wrong. What was my definition? Because I don't remember even giving a definition of what Bonapartism was.
Bonapartism as a when the imperialists fight against themselves, which is only partly true. Bonapartism is when one side of the ruling class of any given society fights against another segment of the ruling class to stabilize society.
That's not Bonapartism.
No, it isn't Bonapartism. That's exactly what Bonapartism is.
No, Bonapartism is...
it's fucking... That's what Bonapartism
if you'll just...
Now, he defined imperialism, so you're wrong. He defined Bonapartism as one segment of the ruling class fighting against the other segment of the ruling class.
But Karl Marx was not God. Like, he's not infallible, my dude. I have a different view of this.
Definition trying to give is not the correct definition.
No, I didn't give a definition. I used one specific example of how Bonapartism and fascism differ.
You defined imperialism you define Bonapartism as Bonapartism when it's imperialism with one segment of the ruling class fighting against the other.
No, I defined it. I didn't even define it. I gave one example of how Bonapartism and fascism differ.
Fucking retard Angloid doesn't fucking know the definition of Bonapartism.
Yes, I do. Yes, I literally do. It involves often monarchism through empire. It involves nepotistic exploitation of territories outside of your own country. It involves massive expansion. It involves centralization of the state. It often involves as well the bastardization of a pre-existing revolution, which was not the case with fascism.
Angloid, you're retarded, Angloid. You are fucking dumb. You're a fucking Angloid. Angloid, Angloid. You're a fucking Angloid. And you are fucking dumb.
Well, I think I just found my new fucking sound alert. Thank you. I will be using that. I will make money off your fucking noise.
Keep advertising me. The haters are what fuel the Yankee Tankie. That's why the Yankee Tankie is always rising. Red Phoenix rising. Yankee Tankie rising. Garbage communism rising. We are the trash, and we are here. We are here to declare victory.
Other than your cholesterol, what about you is rising? Did he just leave? Oh, what a bitch. He fucking rage quit. Lol. Fucking hell.